to prove my point. So, let's start. Okay. Well, it's going to be tricky to do this, but I will give it my best shot. Alright, now that we have the site up and running, this is the question that I asked. It's to cloud or not to cloud. That is the question. Why would anybody want to cloud? Especially, many people, you know what you're doing. You know how to develop Drupal. Some of you may know, some of you may not know. But most people, cloud is still a new idea, right? And everybody's used to having servers, and they know how to migrate, and they know all the process. So why learn a new technology? Okay. My question to you is cloud technology right for your business? If you're a business owner, if you're a developer, if you're anybody that's trying to maximize your profits and increase the efficiency of your systems, this is a question that you have to ask. And I say, is cloud technology right for your business? Yes. Any more questions? Okay, thank you for coming. That was it. Cloud presentation over. No. Next. Okay, so I'll give you some cloud basics. Because a lot of people, everybody has an idea of what the cloud is, right? It's those big fuzzy things in the sky, and the internet just works magically. You put it there and it's like rain and it comes back down, right? It's kind of like that. I think a lot of people have that experience when they're dealing with cloud. Next. Okay. So I don't think I'm going to be able to do this at the same time. It's too confusing. So cloud is hardware. This is the cloud. That's it. There is no mystery. And before I go too far, you have to excuse me because this is a basic presentation and it's for business. So if you want some real DevOps and system admin, probably the room next door would be your choice. I'm just talking about strategy, how to make more money with your company using this. Because that's all that the cloud is computers. It's sitting around in a room just like this, stacks and stacks of servers, and that's it. So, the difference is, if you want to be competitive in today's world, you can either choose to buy all of that stuff, you can pay for it, which if you have a lot of money is very easy, good solution. You can pay for everything, or you can just get it as a service. Anybody that has an internet connection, you can log on and have access to it. So you don't have to buy it. You can just pay for what you use. Cheaper, faster, easier. But let's say, for example, you decide that you want to do things the old-fashioned way. And when I say old-fashioned, I mean we're talking 1990s, people. Come on. Do you want to buy this, or those, or those? And then you have this great big setup of all this stuff. That's nice, if you can buy it. But then you have to deal with it yourself, right? You bought all the equipment. Now somebody in your company has to come along and say, oh, I can make all of that stuff work. I can make something really great out of it. So you already paid the money to buy the equipment. Now you have to pay, again, somebody to go in and deal with it. Next. Probably these guys, or somebody like them, or us. And then you have to deal with all of this, old-fashioned. This is the real tricky part, where you have a real smart person in the room that's trying to, figure out where everything goes and tell it what to do. And then they have to do a lot of this as well. And all of that costs time. And time, we all know, is equal to money, right? So, you bought your system. You've paid people to set up the architecture and design your system. And now it's optimized for Drupal. You've got this great architecture that can run high speed. You know, Drupal is such a heavy PHP-based system. It's really slow if you don't optimize your system. But you bought all of your computers. You paid a really smart person to go in and set it up. Now you're ready for some development, right? You're Drupal ninjas. Yes? Maybe? Anybody? Feedback? Yeah? No? Yeah? Alright. Well, no. The answer is no. I was waiting for you to say yes, but it's no. What do you have to deal with next? You have to deal with the realities of productivity, which are people. Okay? First of all, people, we're not that great. Okay? We ripen. Our skills become better, similar to apples, right? We start out very small, we grow, we learn, we get better, and then we get to a point where we know what we're doing, and that's once you get to that level, you're not going to get better. You can't be faster, you can't type the keys faster than you already can. So, as a business owner, how do you make more money if the people you're working with are already punching the keys as fast as they can? You can add people, right? We can see the example of the last decade. China, India, they've become world economic powers. Why? Cheap labor. So they add more people. But the fact is, adding people costs a lot of money in our world. You have to pay their salaries. Not only that, but you also have to wait for them to become apples, right? If they're not already really skilled at what they do, you're paying for them to catch up to the process and to have the speed that you can use to make more money and be a more successful business. The last thing is, if you want to make better profits with Drupal and in the IT industry, it's going to be not by how good your people are, not by how many people you add, but how good your process and your tools are. And that's really, because the tools and the process are your factory. And that's what I was going to try, but I can't remember the name of the tarball that I'm looking for. So, alright, there we go. Okay, I think it's working now. So, the whole key is to be a more efficient Drupal shop, to be able to produce more websites and better design. It's not by how good your people are, it's not by how many people you can add. Those help, they do help, but they're not the key ingredient. The key ingredient is the tools and the processes, because that is your factory. So, everybody that works in Drupal or IT in general, if you're creating content all the time, your platform, what you use, is your development factory. That's it. If you're using the terminal, switching back and forth, if you have different servers set up, that is your factory. So how efficient is it? Because efficiency is going to be the key to pushing your company and your productivity to the next level. So when you look at Drupal projects and the platform, if you have a small brochure site, you know, you get 1,000 visitors a month, and it's just a very simple site, you don't need a lot of tools. But anybody who has worked with big Drupal projects, they know about big resources. You need things, again, because Drupal is such a heavy system, you need things like Solar, you need things like Varnish, you need a configuration management, so you need a Git or something like that. And if you want to have reliability, that your system, you know, if you're running an e-commerce site and you're having 1 million people come to your site every month, You can't afford for the site to go down. How do you deal with that? You have to distribute your system. So has anybody here ever worked with distributed systems? Symphony? Okay. Anybody that's worked with distributed systems, you know the complexity of it. Unfortunately, in the IT world, it's very, very, it's unnerving, it's unsettling for people if we're sitting and your boss comes to you and says, hey, can you do this? Not can you. They say, hey, I need you to do this. And they give you a project. And it's a distributed system. If you've never worked with a distributed system, what do you tell your boss? Most people usually say, yeah, distributed systems, no problem. The fact of the matter is, when you start distributing things around, it becomes extremely complex. So, back to the cloud. Cloud is your hardware. It's available to you as a service. And this is what the cloud is. So, actually, this is what the cloud is, besides the hardware. If you look at just the hardware piece of the picture, you still have to have somebody that tells that hardware what to do, right? So cloud offerings, people that are making cloud services like Aberdeen Cloud, they offer IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. IaaS is infrastructure as a service. This is like your basic Amazon, AWS, Rackspace, some of the other OpenStack. Anybody know any others? Exactly. So those are all you're buying with those is, I think on the next slide. Again, if you have infrastructure as a service, all you're paying for is this, this, and this. So you have a collection of these. And then somebody still has to tell it what to do by doing that. And it's probably going to be these guys. Okay? So, the PaaS and the SaaS, those are ready-to-go solutions. Those are things that you can sign up for out of the box. And you don't have to worry about any of the provisioning, the configurations, the architecture. You just sign up and you start developing. And actually, those systems, the PaaS and the SaaS, those are what are making this world, the world that we're living in right now, the world of development and IT now, makes it so that small companies, people like everybody in here, we can create and have massive, majorly successful companies. It's called, in English, we call it disruptive technology. Has anybody ever heard that term? Are you familiar with the term? Disruptive technology is when there's a system, and it exists in an ecosystem, and somebody has a piece outside of that puzzle, and they come in and they insert it into that system, and it disrupts, it destroys that system, it shakes things up, it makes it a different process. Well, that is what the cloud is. So, every single one of us in here, in this room right now, because of these technologies, could be building a company that would be one of the top companies in the world. And that's, some people say, you know, I'm a small group, you know, how, that's a very bold statement. The fact is, Skype was created by a group of people, and all of these companies run on the cloud. All of these companies run on Amazon Cloud. So I don't know if Netflix is big over here in Russia, but in the United States, in the Nordics, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, and even mainland Europe, has anybody heard of Netflix?
Yeah, but it doesn't work here.
It doesn't work here. But it's a massive, massive company. Yeah? It runs on Amazon. Dropbox. Everybody knows Dropbox? It runs on Amazon. How many people created Dropbox? I think it was 4 people originally. Well, one guy, and then he had 3 developers. Yeah? And they created the system. And now it's a worldwide global company running on Amazon Cloud. All of these. Yelp, I actually know the people, the two founders, two people that created Yelp. Yeah? Yelp sold 3 years ago for $500 million. Two people created Yelp. Okay, there were more people that created it, but two people came together and they built it on Amazon Web Services. Okay? So all of these, and so it's not hard for me to say, if you use these technologies, you can build something beyond things that you thought were possible. Okay, so this is a dashboard for Aberdeen Cloud. Coming back to, in Drupal and IT, it's all going to be about your factories and your processes. And this is where, if you have everything integrated into one solution, you don't have to mess about with going from one system to another, to all of these things. It's already there as a set of tools for you. And what I talk about mainly is platform as a service. Because if you're in the creation of Drupal sites, the platform is what you need. If you want to go with Amazon, that's fine, but you still have to do all of the work to create it. And that work equals time, time equals money. The platform, you sign up, in 1 minute time you sign up, you create an account, and within 15 minutes you can create a Drupal site. So, you can skip this one. Alright, so which Drupal projects benefit the most from platform as a service? Small or large. But the truth is, any project can. It's just at your price point. If you're paying people to do all of the work, then that's fine. But if it's a small project, you're not going to see as much benefit as you will if it's a big project. And what is a big project? Well, if you're going to go to the cloud, these are some points that you want to look at. Do you need elasticity in your project? That means, can your project scale? Are you able to, if you have 100 users 1 month and 1 million the next, can your project, can your infrastructure deal with that? Reliability. You have an e-commerce site. People are coming to your site and spending money. So if your site goes down, that's money that your client is losing, right? So you need it to stay up. Continuous development. How often do people have to go in and mess with or create more content or things like that? And cross-team collaboration. You're located in Moscow. One of your developers is in Kiev, another one is in Munich, and somebody else is in New York City. So how do you all manage and collaborate? Yeah? Again, you can use GitHub and you can do these things, but how do you make sure that people aren't doing the same work and that one person isn't creating something that conflicts with somebody else? Alright. So, POS and Drupal development. Can anybody give me an example of a con, a negative aspect of the cloud?
Price,
Price?
of course.
Okay, and would you say that the price is too high?
I checked Aberdeen Cloud prices. I worked also with Heroku, from the
Yeah,
so
we actually...
price is 2-3 times more than usual hosting, and there is a border when you can stop paying for a solution and hire a separate person to deal with the cloud. So I think price is...
Okay, so what would be a high price for you? If you were going to create a site, yeah, and you had to have 1 million people per month visiting your site.
Yes, I don't speak about startup project which can shoot in a month and grow in multiple times, but when I speak about usual site, I can rent unit in Amazon for $15 and the cloud solution like
Aberdeen?
this will cost you
50.
$45,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so that's a great point, and actually price. So let's look at price from two points. First of all, in economics and business, there's a term called capital expenditure, right? And capital expenditure is what you have to pay to start your business. So if you want to do everything in-house, I already showed you, you have to buy everything. That's an enormous capital expenditure, right? So you can invest $10,000, euros, 1 million rubles, I don't know the conversion. You can pay for that out of your pocket, or you can sign up for the cloud and start with no price until the end of the month, and you pay as you go. If you stop using it, you don't pay anymore. So price on one point, with cloud, no capital expenditure. Without cloud, capital expenditure. Now, exactly on the point that the gentleman just made is you can sign up for Amazon for $15 a month, or you can sign up for Aberdeen for $50 a month. What's the difference? The difference is, with Amazon, you still have to pay somebody to go and create your system. So you now have all of those computers, but you have to pay at least one person a full-time salary to tell Amazon how to be optimized for Drupal. So that $15 price has a lot of hidden costs because you're still paying out of pocket all of the time for somebody to create that. And that's only for one project. So you actually have to do that every time you create a project. So $15 versus $50, but in my opinion, the $15 in the long run, you're going to have to pay every time that you decide to use that. Somebody has to take the time to tell Amazon what to do. So price is a good point, but I would say that I think that if you're paying each time for somebody to design your system, it's going to end up costing more. It's my opinion. Another con? Anybody? Okay, I'll give you a con. A lot of negative things about the cloud is security, right? People worry about the security. And again, I'm a cloud guy, I believe in the cloud, and I'm passionate about the cloud, so my opinion is biased. I accept that. But in my opinion, security is a joke. Yeah? If you have any system that is networked, it's vulnerable. Yeah? Anybody can go in. If you're a good enough programmer, hacker, if it's a network system, you go in, you have access to it. It's that simple. So, let me ask you, do you think that your system with 5 people is more secure than a system like Amazon, where they spend billions of dollars every year? They're spending $2 billion US on security, on infrastructure, on paying the smartest people they can find to make their system secure. It's a psychological thing. People think, I have the box, it's more secure. My opinion is, I would trust Amazon before I would trust you. No offense, I just think that 5 people in a room are not going to be as good as 100 of the smartest people that one of the best companies in the world can find. Any other cons? No? Okay. So, pros. My biggest point on cloud systems is I believe wholeheartedly, 100%, that it's going to make your system more efficient. You're going to be able to create faster projects. Your tools are going to be configured for what you're doing. And as a company, you're going to be able to deliver your product faster, more secure, and more reliable. And that's it. If you ever want to email me, my name is Aaron. The company is Aberdeen Cloud. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's my last name, Porter, AC. And we still have just a little bit of time. If you want me to actually migrate this site, I will show you. Again, I'm not trying to advertise for the company, I'm trying to advertise for cloud, but this is the solution that I know. So, how many people here have ever upgraded the core on Drupal? Yes? Can you tell me about the process?
I just copy the files and run update PHP.
Yeah? How long does that usually take? If you're in Drupal 7.1 and you want
5 to 10 minutes.
5 to 10 minutes. All right. And then, but then you have your development server, and you have a live server as well, right? You have two different. So you have to migrate.
I do backups.
Sorry.
I make backups.
Backups. But then you have to migrate the backup from one system to the other. How much time does that take?
Okay.
30 minutes, an hour,
24 hours.
24 hours. Yeah, I appreciate. Thank you. That's the point. Now you want to. You think it's 15 minutes, but how much time is really involved to move it across the systems? It's a lot. With the cloud, you have a development server, you have a staging server, and you have a live server, all built into the system. So you can develop on one, you can test it to make sure it doesn't break what's already existing, because if you start at your live site, you sync all of the information down to the development site, or you clone it, and then you test it, the new stuff that you do, to make sure it doesn't break the stuff you already have. So if it passes the staging, it doesn't break anything, you go to the live site. Now you want to update your core. So, 24 hours, that means either one person works on it 3 days in a row, 8 hours at a time, not continuously obviously, but waiting for it to do one thing, going back and checking the system, doing all these things. Or you go in, you say upgrade core, you select which core you want, you go to the most current Drupal version, you say save settings, you wait for the job to be done, and in 2 minutes you push it from the development to the live.
Does it check compatibility?
Sorry?
Does it check compatibility?
Compatibility.
Compatibility.
That's what your staging is for. So in the staging system, it actually will check what you already have and what you're trying to create. So you start at live, you bring all of the information down to development, and you make your changes. Then you go and you sync it to staging. Okay, and you say, oh, that's already done, by the way. I just updated core. So just upgraded from 7.22 to 7.23. 24 hours. That's done already. Sorry, just a good point there. So then you check it. In the staging, it will show you what
check
the.
it manually.
Sorry.
You check it manually.
You check it. You're the developer.
The
You're in
system
charge.
doesn't know about it.
Sorry.
System doesn't know about it.
Some points like.
For example, when you migrate from 7 to 8 version.
Okay, that is a different. That would require
Yes,
a
of
different.
course, but it's example.
Yeah, you would do it as a developer. It's not that smart of a system. It's a good system, but yeah. So we just upgraded core. Let's go ahead and I also don't forget at the same time I'm trying to present. I'm migrating a site into the system in between. So we're going to deploy that version. We'll wait. It has to do some work. It's probably going to take a couple of minutes. So, another question? Has anybody used any cloud services? Oh, it's done. Anybody?
Yep.
Yes. What do you use?
Cloud services, you mean SaaS services? Or?
Yeah, any of them. Well, I know SaaS. We could all say we all use emails, right? Heroku. I love Heroku because that is our goal. We want to be the Heroku of Drupal. So I'm showing you the user interface, but Heroku is very big on command line. We have all of our user interface available from command line as well. We've created our own, so the commands are Aberdeen, like Aberdeen clone, Aberdeen push, Aberdeen, all of it. So you can use your terminal if you don't like this, which some people do. I'm going to go ahead and sync my database at the moment from the development, and I'm going to sync the file system at the same time. You can do that. All right, so Heroku. Anybody else know Heroku? Yeah. Great system. That is our inspiration. That's what we're trying to create. We created the GUI for people that, some people like GUI. Pantheon, Acquia, these companies, they use GUI. We have GUI as well. But if you're a very serious hardcore developer, people like Terminal, you can use those tools as well. Oh, database and file system synced, so all we have left to do is push our project live. I'm going to deploy the code, and oh, that's done. And you have to forgive me because I'm really not an IT person, I'm a business person, so if anything is not working, it's probably because I'm really bad at this stuff. But let's see if that works. Waiting. If it's broken, it's my fault. As I said, I'm not very good at this. All right. Any more questions? No? Do you want to see if I can make this site work?
No, it's lunchtime.
It's lunchtime? Okay. Well, that's it. I'm just going to keep rambling on because that's what I do. I like the sound of my own voice. But does anybody have any questions for me about how this works or anything in general?
How?
Oh, sorry, real quick. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. We've just imported or migrated a site from. The only thing is I cheated a little bit. I already created the Drush archive dump before, so I had that as a file. But if you know Drush, it takes just a few minutes to do an archive. And this is actually live, so you could go log on right now if you had Wi-Fi. I'll leave it up and running. It's not a great site. There's nothing special about it. But it is a full Drupal site with different pages, different features, all of these things. That was done in the time between me speaking and coming over here and typing something, and we now have a Drupal site live on the internet going. It's called demo5-liv.sites.ac. If you don't remember that, you have a bad memory. All right, sorry, I interrupted you.
Okay, my question was about the size of projects I can store in your cloud. How big can the project? Can you share it and scale it between few servers?
Between servers,
Yes.
like a high availability system.
No, I mean sharding.
Sharding, yes, absolutely. There's one thing that I can't really talk about at the moment because we're in negotiations with another company.
Yeah.
As it exists right now, yes, our system can do sharding for the databases and handle that, but we're in talks with another new technology that's coming out that we're hoping will make sharding look like children's toys. But the answer is yes. You can. It's very, very easy. The size of the project, I think the biggest we have is like, well, it's the biggest, 6,400 something. I don't know. It's massive, massive. Just the database alone for that is like $6,000. So the biggest system that we've tested, that we load tested, could do 331 million unique page loads in a month. So if you're getting more than that on your site, you're probably Facebook. Anybody else? All right, guys, thank you very much. I am a very bad business person because I woke up at 4 a.m. yesterday and I traveled to Tallinn and then I came to Moscow and I didn't bring very many business cards. I have a few in my room. But I would love to stay connected. If you want to send me a LinkedIn or if you want to give me your card, please, I'd like to make some contacts. You can follow me on Twitter, you can email me, all of those things. Thank you for listening to me do this all the time because that's all I ever do anyway. So have a great camp. Oh, and don't forget demo5-liv.sites.ac. You can check it out.
You want to take a photo?
Yeah, sure. Let's put it at the first slide. And anybody that wants to give me a card, if you have a card, I'd love to take a card.
We will talk later, I guess.
All right. Baker. Yeah, cerulean. If I can remember that, you can remember demo5-live.ac. Yes? That we want Drupal. Yes, but not Drupal, Linux. Yeah, so we don't use Drupal developers because we don't create Drupal, we create Linux cloud basically.
What is the base of Drupal? Is it PHP based or
Python. Python.